皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about my personality. So I had someone in my comments asking me actually a lot of people telling me like Shogo, you look always so happy, you look so happy all the time and so positive and energetic. Like aren't there times like you are a little bit, like, I don't know, sad or depressed or negative? And to be honest, I am a very positive person in general. Yes, I am definitely a positive person. But at the same time, I did want to tell everyone that my personality between English and Japanese are completely different when I speak English or when I speak Japanese. So when I speak English, remember, I was in Michigan, the US, for 6 years from 5 to 11 years old. So basically, I mean, it's probably different in some ways now, but when I was in the US, I was a small child. I was a young boy, just in elementary school. So whenever I speak in English, I really feel that young boy, that young Shogo kind of pops up. He just overtakes me kind of thing. And I guess that maybe is one thing that makes me happier when I speak English. And basically, I guess I'm the kind of person, although I am 100% Japanese, I think I am definitely the kind of person who feels more comfortable in a, what should I say? I'm not too sure if language would completely divide on all the characters, but as I always talk about, Japan is more of a collective society, and it's the opposite of individualism and stuff like that. And I really felt that I was feeling more comfortable when I was in the US, more of the individualistic society, where everyone's characters are respected, and you are fine to be different. I mean, of course, there may be some cases where people might be bullied or things like that because they're different, but compared to Japan, as a person who've experienced it before, it's completely different for sure. And it was much more comfortable for me. And even now, as my base personality, my character, I think I'm the kind of person who feels much more comfortable in such an environment, in a society like that, individualistic society. And because if I was the kind of person who would feel more comfortable in a collective society, I would probably not be doing my YouTube channel now and talking everything in English and explaining about that, because I do stand out a lot. And there's a lot of Japanese people who do not like me at all, yeah. And this is something really sad that Kazu found out, but there's actually a website on the internet of people literally, they have this chat board, I don't know how you call it, but where there are people, I think it was me and a few other Japanese YouTubers. There's like this website that there's literally people going up there and talking about how much they hate us. So that's how it is, in Japan. Yeah. So basically, when I speak in English, I guess I'm probably closer to my genuine self. Like, I'm probably much more honest, I should say. Because you might have heard of the honne and tatemae kind of, lifestyle in Japan, where you need to basically kind of hide your true feelings, and you have to have this mask on in society in Japan kind of thing. And it is true, And of course, as I explained in my video, that is sometimes for kindness. A lot of people say, well, Japanese people are so polite and they're so kind, and that's because we have the honne and tatemae, putting the mask on, taking it off kind of thing, So that has its pros and cons too. But it is definitely, it does need a lot of, what should I say, techniques and experience, and it does get a little bit tiring sometimes, yeah. So I think I'm personally more of, I guess I simply feel more comfortable when I speak English. And as you might have noticed, well, maybe you haven't noticed yet, but I am a very talkative person. I do talk a lot, yeah. And in Japan, though, in Japanese, there's a saying that goes, everything bad comes out from your mouth. Your mouth, or in other words, it could be said, your mouth is what creates bad or trouble, badness, I guess, or trouble. Yeah. So basically, it said that you shouldn't talk as much as possible. Yes, and this definitely is the way of Japan. Like as I said, I made a YouTube Shorts once talking about one thing that you should never say to a Japanese person, kind of thing, and the answer was complimenting them, complimenting them. And the reason why complimenting a Japanese person is a bad idea is because by complimenting someone, like saying, "Oh, I love your hairstyle, I like your new clothes," it's almost like you're saying you're higher than that person, and that person is lower, because complimenting in Japanese society is something that a higher person, a senpai or a superior, can say to a kohai or junior. Yep. So you shouldn't say that either. So basically, a lot of people were super confused in my comments saying that, wow, what should I say? I would love to answer you. The answer is you shouldn't say anything unless the other person says something. That's seriously how it is. That's what I was taught in my job right after I started working. The first thing that when I was working at one of the really, really terrible working environments anyways, the first thing my boss taught me was what you are going to be saying in my workplace, in my company, is "Hai, kashikomarimashita." These two words are the only words you're going to be saying, right? And that means "yes, sir." That's the only two words you're going to be saying in front of me. And that's what he literally taught me. Yep. And then you would say, "Oh, well, yeah, of course, that's a really show you were talking about that. That's a really the abusive workplace, the terrible environment you were talking about, right?" No. I went to my tea ceremony training. And tea ceremony, again, as I talked about in my previous videos a lot, it's all about hospitality, caring about other people, and this part is beautiful, and my sensei is very strict to me. My sensei treats each student differently depending on their character, and she understands that I'm the kind of person who can bear the strictness of her teachings. Yes, and I really, really appreciate that, because sometimes my sensei doesn't teach them anything because he or she, you can obviously see that that person is not capable of taking so much strictness, so she adjusts it. Yep. And I actually told her once that I want her to teach me everything that she knows and experiences, so she's very strict to me. But what she taught me is the only thing you're going to be saying in my class, in my tea room, is "yes." Not even "kashikomarimasu," the ma'am or sir part. Yeah. Like, when I said, because at the workplace I was taught I should say "Hai, kashikomarimasu," "yes, sir," or "yes, ma'am," it means. And I said that at the tea room. She was like, are you a part of an army or something? Just saying yes would be enough, basically. So, it's, for example, let me give you another example. I got scolded by my tea sensei once very, very badly when once there was a tea utensil that shouldn't get wet at all. It should not have any wetness at all. There was a few drops of water on this tea utensil. Yeah. And the sensei said, like, "Shogo, did you do this?" kind of thing. Yeah. And then I said, "No, it wasn't me. No, I did not do that." And then I got super, super scolded about that. Yeah. And what she meant was that she wanted me to just clean it up immediately. If it was, because the wet utensil that shouldn't be wet was right in front of me, right? What I should have done, because trying to find who actually did it is not the problem. It was probably someone else that did it. I did not do it. Yeah. What the sensei meant by "did you do this, Shogo," is you should clean it up. If you noticed it, you should clean it up. And I actually, to be honest, this is my bad part, but I did notice it. Yeah. But I didn't clean it up immediately. Yeah. So by saying that, "No, sensei, this wasn't me who did it," it means that, well, you know that this utensil shouldn't get wet, and it was right in front of you, right? Why didn't you do it? No matter who did actually got it wet, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So basically, by saying that, yeah, I should have just said, "Yes, it was me, and I will get it cleaned up." Would have ended the conversation quickly, right? But by saying an excuse that "no, it wasn't me, it would have been that other person over there," it just made so much trouble. This is the Japanese idea of conversations and talking, So this is what I've been taught. Yeah. And then, yes, what do you end up with? You don't talk anything anymore. Yeah. And of course, this, I would say, is very extreme. I need to tell you, this is a very extreme. If you don't train in traditional culture like me, like in a really strict, with a very strict sensei, you probably wouldn't be taught like this. I mean, like Tomoko trains in tea ceremony, but she says she was never taught like this before. Yeah, or like even in the workplace, it depends on who you work with. In Japan too, there are a lot of workplaces where you're told that you're able to speak whatever you want to and work freely and such. And if you work in that environment, you'll be able to say whatever you want to. Of course, in Japan too, it'll be different. But in most cases, for me, for my personality, I tend to say things that I don't notice it. I personally don't notice it, but it seems it hurts and irritates people sometimes. Yeah. And I was talking with Harumi, and Harumi thought so too in the past, actually. She wasn't completely irritated, but she was like, when she just started dating with me, she was like, why does this man says these things, sometimes? Like, the words that I choose, I guess, sometimes irritates or hurts other people. And this actually happens within my team too, with Tomoko Kazu. And sometimes I just say things that are just, I don't know, are unnecessary, I guess. Yeah. And in the end, for me, when I speak Japanese, I just try to not talk at all. Yeah. And when I do need to talk, it's a question that I ask the other person. Yeah. For them to start the conversation and not me, which is one of the most important things that tea ceremony has taught me. Yep. So, as a Japanese person living in Japanese society, working in Japan working with Japanese people, I'm a lot used to such an environment now. Yeah, and I'm really, really used to not talking at all, in general. But is it me, though? Is it really me? Is it truly me? It's not, honestly. You are now listening to the true Shogo. Yeah. I have never ever talked to anyone when I'm speaking in English that, oh, Shogo, you just said something that hurt me, or Shogo, you just said something abusive to me, or wow, how can you be so disrespectful? I've never met anyone, although I've met over 60,000 travelers in Japan when I was working in the tourism industry. No one has told me when I'm speaking in English that I'm kind of this person. But when I speak in Japanese, 50-50 chances of someone that would tell me that if I talk without thinking anything or without stopping myself, with no breaks, So I just wanted to explain that I am definitely a different person when I am speaking in Japanese. When I'm speaking in Japanese, I sit there with a smile and I don't say anything. That's just simply the best way to get away, And that's exactly the reason why I have my YouTube channel where I speak in English, where I can be myself, but still I talk about Japanese culture because I love it, And yeah, I just wanted to explain that I have a completely different personality when I speak in Japanese. Alright, so everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal, a dream of my life, is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know that there are a lot of people studying Japanese or willing to come to Japan to study, work, and travel, or even train in traditional culture and such, yep. But I am afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future, because we are facing a lot of social problems, we are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations in Japan who are supposed to carry on Japan, right, are dying because of all those social issues being shoved against them. Yes, something came to the door. So I want to dedicate my life to try to make Japan a better place by solving the social problems, preserving and evolved traditional culture, and also helping out the younger generations so they can have a brighter future. Yep. And to do that, my first step is to achieve 1 million subscribers by January 2023, so your help would mean a lot. All your likes and comments will help to boost my videos to new viewers who have never seen my channel before, so it would help me out a lot. Yes, thank you so much. And I will be talking with you in the next podcast. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.